After eliminating the Japanese light cruiser with one torpedo, USS Gudgeon made her way south to disengage from the area. Multiple warships were detected by our sonar operator, closing in at high speeds. Luckily, we were able to get away without being detected. The crew and I prepared for another eventful day. I figured we would go out with a bang. The plan was for USS Gudgeon to infiltrate the harbor of Yokosuka and inflict as much damage as possible with her remaining 4 fish.
Yes, sir. Dive plan set for normal dive. Yes, sir. Dive plan set for normal dive.
At 1100 hours base time, USS Gudgeon slipped beneath the waves once again. As it stands, the boat is around 30 kilometers away from Yokosuka. Upon diving, we had 2 radar contacts on scope. Although there is no way of confirming it, I believe these are both destroyers, protecting the entrance to the bay. Getting through the strait will be our first serious challenge. At its most narrow point, it is only around 7 nautical miles wide. If all goes to plan, I will be looking at Yokosuka through Gudgeon's periscope in approximately 5 hours. Gudgeon managed to get through the narrowest part of the strait without being detected. To be honest, all of the warships seemingly disappeared. I suppose we got lucky. Our luck couldn't last forever though, and it seems to have run out. Our sonar operator has picked up a destroyer directly in front of us. With only 70 feet beneath the keel, things are about to get interesting. Okay, Gudgeon is currently sitting at periscope depth. We have a enemy warship which is conducting a routine search pattern that is getting pretty close to our position. Let's go ahead and raise our scope and just take a quick look. Let's have our hydrophone operator report. Oh, there she is. Geez, quite close. 2-stacker, quite an intimidating warship. We have dropped down to silent running. We are moving at 1 knot. And that's a good enough look for me. The depth under keel was around 70 feet last time I checked. Let's go ahead and drop down to 80 feet, please.
Yes, sir.
Just lay low. This destroyer was heading south for a bit, and it looks like it is now cutting west. So I have a feeling it has like a box of search pattern here in the channel. Hopefully, we'll be able to sneak past her undetected and get into position to fire torpedoes into whatever is in here in Yokosuka. But we will see. It says it's going to take us 5 hours now. We have dropped down to 1 knot, and that's the reason this time estimate is so much longer now. We will probably speed up to around 3 or 4 knots once this destroyer is out of the way. I do not want to be going 4 knots this close to an enemy warship. She's around, what, 3,000 yards away? Yeah, something like that. So, pretty close. This is kind of sketchy. It seems like we are in the clear. The enemy warship has passed right in front of us, and we have remained undetected. There she is. It looks like she's actually commencing a turn. All right, let's drop our scope down. You don't want to keep that up too long in these clear sea conditions. She is quite close, and she is slowing up. It is very possible she may just turn around and come towards us, although I do doubt that. We'll see. I do wonder what her search pattern completely is. I guess I could have been marking it for when we try to escape. Let's increase speed to 2 knots, please. Start moving a little quicker. and try to come in closer towards our mission objective. So far, this has been the only warship we have detected that has crossed our path, which has been quite lucky. There were quite a few in this area. However, we timed it nicely, so we did not actually run across any of them, which is quite nice and quite lucky. But it looks like she is swinging back around behind us. She's going to be in our baffles here in a second. Well, it looks like we'll be here in 2 hours and 30 minutes, and we will fire off our last 4 Mark 14 torpedoes. Well, hopefully we'll fire them off. There is a high possibility of running across anti-submarine nets and mines. I'm not exactly sure where those are going to be, so that is definitely a concern as we get closer to Yokosuka here. Gudgeon approached Yokosuka, and much to my surprise, the harbor was nearly abandoned, except for a few float planes. This was truly shocking and disappointing to me. In an attempt to salvage the situation, USS Gudgeon proceeded north towards Yokohama, where hopefully we will find a suitable target. Well, scoping out Yokosuka, or Yokosuka, as apparently it's pronounced in Japanese, turned out to be a bust. There were like a handful of Japanese float planes there, but literally nothing. So, what Gudgeon is now looking at is Yokohama. And let's do a quick scan and see if there's anything here. More Japanese float planes. Not really a great target for us. I am shocked by the lack of shipping in these ports, but we'll see. Maybe we'll come across something nice here. More float planes, probably. Okay, that is our target, that's for sure. Looks like a Takao, possibly. And I believe that is it. There were a few escorts out there. You see the sun is starting to set, so... And there's a... Looks like a big fire over yonder. Interesting. Well, this actually was a lot easier than anticipated. This is kind of breaking character, but admittedly, this is one of my big problems with this mod. This mod has been pretty easy, but that's okay. We are going to position ourselves to engage this guy. Looks like she is right here. Let's just change course so we can line ourselves up for a nice torpedo attack. We are going to fire our last 4 remaining fish at this target. Let's lock on it and try to identify it properly here anyway. Oh. Cow. That's kind of what I thought it was. Let's lock that in for the time being. It may not be though. Looking at these masts. Yoko. I can't see how many guns it has in the rear. Only has 3 guns there though. I don't know. It definitely looks like a Takao to me. Just from the very flat superstructure, but it's really hard to tell. The sun is actually doing us no favors here. But sinking a large Japanese warship with a setting sun, that's there's something poetic about that. We're going to close in, and I'll let you all know when we are in position. Okay, everybody, our time to attack is now. We are in a pretty good position here. We are going to aim for turret number 2 with 1 torpedo. Let's mark that in. Lock. Bring this up. Open tubes 2, 4, 5, and 6. The sun is really starting to set now, so let's go ahead and get these fish out of the tubes. All right, tube 2, aiming for turret number 2, fire. Okay, tube 2's away. Tube number 4 is going to aim for the structure. Marked tube 4, fire. Okay, tube 5 will aim for the first funnel. Tube 5, fire. Tube 6, aim for... Yeah, we'll actually go back here. Rear turret. Tube 6, fire. Tube 6 away, down scope. Left full rudder, let's get out of here. Well, there we have it. Thankfully, 2 Mark 14s was enough to put her under. Quite frankly, I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm also surprised we had to dodge. Generally, those more acute angles are preferable for the Mark 14 torpedo due to its faulty impact pistol, but thankfully, I mean, 2 torpedoes managed to detonate and send the target down. And that is all for USS Gudgeon this patrol. We have no means of attacking any more vessels now. We are out of deck gun ammunition and torpedoes. Now we just need to escape this area and head back home to Pearl Harbor. That was still a good way to end the patrol and this captain's career, that's for sure. I'm sure there are warships heading our way. That fire is still blazing out there. And those float planes are there. So we are going to drop our scope and lurk out of here under the cover of darkness. It was fairly easy getting into here. We only had one close call with a destroyer in this area here. Other than that, we were okay. CO2 is starting to build up. It's not too bad. We should be a-okay. Battery power is at about 50%. Let's bump it up to standard and try to get into some deeper waters here. And we may end up surfacing, you know, around here and just running away at flank speed. That's probably our best bet, to be honest. We can use our speed as our main advantage. And, yeah, then onward to Pearl. After nearly 18 hours submerged, the crew was starting to get on edge, and CO2 buildup was starting to become a serious problem. Gudgeon managed to avoid all of the escorts in the area, until 0900 that is. A Japanese destroyer was stationary at the mouth of the bay. As Gudgeon approached, our sonar operator heard the warship's engines start up. Shortly after, active sonar began beating against the hull. The crew rigged for depth charges. We were in for one hell of a ride. Alright folks, this is not good. This enemy destroyer is bearing down on us quickly. All ahead flank. Let's main battle stations while I am at it. Destroyer is closing in rapidly. Left full rudder. The pinging is quite aggressive at this point. CO2 buildup in the boat is pretty rough as well. And I think this guy is about to roll. Can hear him coming over the top. Okay, charges are exploding. We are running rudder amidships. Getting rattled a little bit. Nothing too crazy though. Oh, that one was a little closer. The boat is at 100 feet. Oh my god, what a pattern. Jeez Louise. Okay, depth under keel, please. Depth under keel is 100 feet. Alright, we need to drop down to 250. Down to 250 feet, please. Thank you, thank you. Okay, geez, that was a brutal depth charging. As you can see, unfortunately, our gauges are all messed up. They're all stuck in the 12 o'clock position. That is not entirely accurate. That is a bug with the Fall of the Rising Sun mod. That is kind of annoying, but we will do what we can here. And now we wait for that enemy destroyer to loop back around and start laying another pattern. That was probably the largest pattern of depth charges we have experienced. Oh my gosh, that was massive. That was quite intimidating. All right, let's try to lurk away.
Yes, sir.
All ahead, 2/3, please. As night turned to day, our Japanese hunter circled gudgeon like a hawk. Thankfully, the waters we were detected in were very deep, and gudgeon was able to get below the thermal layer. Our hunter only dropped one large pattern of depth charges upon us. The remainder of the night was purely psychological torture, as the destroyer circled, constantly pinging. At 1100 hours base time, the enemy broke off and proceeded to head southwest. We are by no means out of the woods yet, however. The destroyer is still extremely close. At this point, USS Gudgeon has been submerged for a total of 24 hours. Conditions in the boat have become miserable. Due to silent running, ventilation throughout the boat has been non-existent. This really brings me back to my days aboard that pig boat, S-33. The enemy destroyer is still extremely close. She is around 1,500 yards away from Gudgeon and is not currently pinging. Hopefully, she doesn't resume her hunt. It seems we can't catch a break. The Japanese warship has reinitiated her hunt. Sonar is banging against the hull, and her screws started churning up water. She's on an attack run, heading straight for us. Evasive maneuvers were ordered. Here we go again.
Current depth 140. Yes, sir. Ahead flank. Heart covered.
On February 9th, 1943, USS Gunjan came under serious depth charge attack in Sagami Bay. Unfortunately, we will never know the exact circumstances of Gunjan's final hours. All we know is the boat and her crew have seen the last of the blue sky and are now on eternal patrol. Captain Richard A. Miller was our top submarine skipper, and this would have been his last war patrol. Throughout his career, he destroyed a total of 170,556 tons of Japanese shipping. He managed to send 89,000 tons to the bottom on his fourth and last patrol. In total, 39 ships were sent to the bottom by S-32 in Gunjan. 9 of these were warships, and 30 were merchant vessels. Of note, 2 light cruisers were sunk by S-32, and 1 light and 1 heavy cruiser were sunk by USS Gunjan. Although this is a tremendous loss, the U.S. submarine service will continue to cripple the Japanese war effort and ultimately contribute greatly to bringing the Empire of Japan to its knees.